"I'll take 5, the old man said, his voice steady, echoing across the gleaming showroom that a stunned silence fell over the room. The polished chrome of the trucks reflected the laughter of young executives who couldn't believe what they were hearing. "Sir, these aren't motorcycles," said the manager, Evelyn Carter, silver-haired and sharp-eyed. "Each one costs more than most people earn in a lifetime." The man didn't flinch. He adjusted the worn strap of his backpack and smiled faintly. "I know," he said, "and I'll take 5. Some of the employees exchanged smirks. A young woman near the front desk, Claire Bennett, almost laughed aloud, while the mechanics glanced at each other, uncertain whether to intervene. Evelyn's calm exterior betrayed a flicker of unease. There was no arrogance in his eyes, no wild delusion, just a quiet, unwavering certainty. "You might be in the wrong place," Evelyn said. He shook his head. "No, I'm exactly where I need to be. Maybe you're just looking at the wrong man." He walked slowly across the showroom, boots scraping softly against the polished floor, stopping by the coffee station to pour himself a small cup of water. His hands, calloused and strong, moved with practiced precision. No one noticed that those same hands had once built engines from scrap, carried supplies through storms, and held the hands of strangers when all hope was gone. His name was Samuel Hayes. Once, he had a thriving trucking business, a loving wife named Margaret, and a son he adored. Life had a way of stripping him of it all. Margaret passed away in a hospital he couldn't afford. His company had been swallowed by ruthless competitors, and for years, he had slept in abandoned garages, surviving on vending machine food and the spare change of kindness from strangers. Yet Samuel had never quit. For 5 long years, he had saved every penny, repaired broken trucks on the roadside, and quietly dreamed of building something greater than himself. A transport company that gave second chances, veterans, single mothers, the homeless, anyone who needed a fresh start. He called it Second Route Logistics. Now, standing among the sleek trucks and skeptical executives, Samuel wasn't just buying vehicles. He was reclaiming hope. And in the quiet tension of the showroom, even Evelyn Carter felt it. This was no ordinary man, and this was no ordinary day. And today, it was finally happening. Evelyn Carter sighed, pushing a stack of paperwork aside, trying to steady her thoughts. When she looked up, Samuel Hayes was already standing by the reception desk, holding out a neatly organized bundle of documents. "Here's my purchase order," he said, his voice calm but carrying quiet authority. Evelyn took the papers, eyes narrowing in disbelief. Each sheet was immaculate, properly stamped, all company details filled, every signature in place. Claire Bennett leaned closer, scanning the top line aloud. "Second Route Logistics Incorporated." Evelyn froze mid-breath. "Who authorized this?" she asked, instinctively reaching for her phone to call finance. But then she looked at the signature at the bottom. Her eyes widened. It was unmistakable. The regional head of Mercedes Commercial Partnerships, a man who rarely, if ever, approved orders without extraordinary reason. She glanced back at Samuel, stunned. How did you get this?" Samuel's lips curved in a faint, tired smile. "He was once a student of mine," he said softly. "Back when I taught mechanical logistics, I fixed his first trucks, before he even had a company to run." Silence settled over the showroom. The laughter from earlier felt awkward, almost shameful. Claire lowered her eyes, unsure what to say. Evelyn watched Samuel for a long moment, seeing now not the worn clothes or the weathered hands, but a lifetime of experience, perseverance, and quiet integrity. Serena, one of the other sales executives, stepped forward cautiously. "Mr. Hayes, I'm sorry for..." He raised a hand, stopping her gently. "No need," he said. "You were only following the rules the world teaches, to judge with your eyes before your heart." The next hour passed in a whirlwind. Paperwork was verified, approvals confirmed, and within moments, it was official. Samuel Hayes wasn't a wandering dreamer chasing illusions. His payment had been wired in advance. He wasn't buying 5 trucks to show off wealth or status. He was building something far bigger, a second chance for those the world had overlooked. By late afternoon, the showroom had quieted. Sunlight softened the edges of the polished vehicles. Samuel moved toward the delivery bay, each step deliberate. Evelyn followed silently, her heart unsettled in a good way. After a pause, she spoke, her voice low. "I judged you the moment you walked in," she admitted. Your clothes, your bag. I thought you were just another old man with a dream too big for the real world. Samuel turned, his eyes kind, calm, and steady. Dreams don't shrink just because people stop believing in them, he said. They wait. They wait for the right hands to bring them to life. He gestured toward the trucks lined up in pristine rows. These machines will carry more than cargo. They'll carry hope. They'll feed families, provide transport opportunities, and give people a chance to start again. That's worth more than pride, isn't it? For the first time in years, Evelyn's eyes softened. It is, she whispered. The next morning, the trucks rolled out, driven by men and women who had slept in shelters just days before. Families waved, neighbors cheered, and word spread quickly through town about the ragged strangers who had walked into a Mercedes showroom and purchased 5 trucks. Not to make themselves rich, but to rebuild lives. Not a week later, Evelyn found a handwritten note in the mail, the penmanship careful and deliberate. It read, "Thank you for the laughter. It reminded me how far I've come. Maybe kindness doesn't start with believing in others. It starts by giving them a chance to prove you wrong." It was a lesson she wouldn't forget. And as the sunlight glinted off the chrome trucks in the distance, Evelyn knew that sometimes the most extraordinary people come quietly, dressed in worn clothes, leaving behind a mark that no one could ignore.